は緩衝材ですよ。
なるほどな。
開けて確かめるといい。
まさか生ものとはわしも想定外じゃの。
Sasaki and Peeps, episode number 7, and just putting this energy out there. I just got done watching this episode, and the opinion that I'm going to share, as I'm sure you know, it's only my own, and it's only reflective of me just finishing watching the show today. Like, I just got done watching. I literally just wrapped 16 seconds ago, 29 seconds ago, and I'm going to express kind of how I feel about it. But at the end of the day, these are reactive comments to me just watching it. This isn't a holistic view, which means like this isn't like how I feel about the whole entire show. This is just how I feel in the moment. If you've been around the channel, you know I say stuff like that because I'm about to shit on the show hard. Okay, I'm not going to. I'm really not. I don't think so. I loved the end of the episode where the little noble girl hides inside of the crate, and her intrusive thoughts won, and she ends up getting beamed over to the real world, or over to Japan, however you want to describe it. I laughed. I thought that was a funny moment. I kind of expected. I was like, I bet she hid away, but it showed her behind a crate, and then suddenly she's in the crate. How she made that, how she ninja'd her way into that, I don't know. Regardless, I thought that was funny. Take that little concise moment away. I don't think this episode was bad. I don't think it was good. I just think it was just simply that. It was just an episode of Sasaki and Peeps. And I have to admit that during the episode, I was quite a bit bored. And I think that's my major issue, is it was a little bit of a boring episode to me. I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was good. I think the best things are the best parts of Sasaki and Peeps. I just feel like weren't represented well in this episode. And again, this is just a reactive commentary to this episode, not the whole thing. Although there are some things I have issues with if I were to talk about the whole thing. But I was a little bit bored this episode. And as I was watching, I was kind of thinking of like a similar show to this. Obviously has a lot more action. Obviously it's in a different genre, but similar. I think last season, or maybe the season before, maybe 2 seasons ago, we got an anime called 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐥. And that was a similar anime to where, a bro in his grandma's basement or something found a door, and this door led to this other world, and he was able to freely come back and forth between the two worlds. And one of the things the reason I bring it up is one of the things that show did very good was it either started in Japan and then led us into, seamlessly into the other fantasy world, or the episode ended in Japan and started again in Japan, or left us off in the fantasy world and started again in the fantasy world. The reason that I think that's important is episode 6 left us off in Japan, and he was schmoozing it up with Hoshizaki and whatever else. And this episode just starts in this other world. There's no like, what's the right word for it? There's no like transition into it. We just start off in this other world or whatever. And I think maybe I'm misspeaking. I guess maybe the transition is the episode started with Peeps watching a movie, and then right after the credits, we're just in the other world. So I guess maybe that's the transition. So maybe I'm gonna eat my words. Maybe it wasn't that there was no transition. Maybe it was a bad transition. I don't know. But I really feel like the best parts of being this equal opportunity of these two worlds is kind of what 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐽 did, which is like leading us for a reason or purpose or something into this other world. I just really felt, I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't done very well. We're just in this other world, and all of a sudden, Mueller is meeting with the king, and the king is saying, you know, whoever can do blah, blah, blah will be the next in the line of the throne. And people are just like, looking at each other. It's like, ooh, okay, I guess. And then, you know, Mueller's like, yo, Sasaki, I'm going to send you to a different land. I don't want you to be here for this dispute, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, he's a grown-ass man. Like, he's a grown man. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, dude. Like, you know, okay. He's like, no, I won't. And then that Marco dude, or Marco, whatever his name is, almost gets ran over by a carriage, and he gets thrown in jail, I guess. And now he has to save him, and he's going to start up another trading company in his name, and he's going to start another, you know, he's going to start, what do you call it? Trade with another town or another country or city or something, and he's going to do all that. Then you have Mueller's daughter, you know, the one who stowed away at the end, is like, she wants to save Mark, and he's like, I got it, dude, you know. And I don't know, I'm starting to feel about Sasaki and Peeps like, and I guess it's one of the things of like, you know, hey, it's anime, don't think that deep about it. But my feelings at this point is like, bro's 40, you know, 40 years old. Seems like he doesn't have any family. Seems like he doesn't have any real friends, right? So he has no real ties to Japan. He's like 40-year-old solo dolo. His real friend or his real companion now is Peeps. So in my head, you know, he's already set up a restaurant. He's going to set up a trading company, and he has magic. So he can kind of pimp himself out based on just abilities to this other world, whether it's for war or something else. In my head at this point, just go live over here. Like, you have a much better life. You have potentially a bigger house. You can potentially have maids. You can potentially have a couple of streams of revenue in this other country. Peeps is familiar with this other country. And just because you move here permanently doesn't mean that you can't go back to Japan for some reason. But cancel your lease, sell all your shit, disappear off the map, go move to this other world, and live a better life in luxury in this other world that you seem to fit into more. Like, why put up this facade to people that they don't really matter? Hoshizaki, your neighbor, they don't really matter to you, you know? So I'm at that point of like, if it was me, I'd just go live in this other world and I would just start a new life there. I would take all the funds that I'm getting from being a merchant and start a restaurant, trading company, start another business with local goods. Maybe in Japan, go get some download some schematics for some things that are already in this world, but could be built in this world with the stuff in this world, and be a normal trading company there with introducing things like new inventions. But, you know, and maybe I'm thinking too deep about it. I don't know. But this episode is boring, and that's where this stems from, is like, they could be doing something more. And I hope episode 8 brings me back. So shit on me in the comments, because maybe this was awesome to you, but I was bored this episode and a little disappointed. But episode 8 could be maybe magical girls. More magical girls. Maybe more magical girls next episode. Who knows? We'll see what happens with Mueller's daughter as a stowaway, though. So, all right, my friends. I'm going to see you guys next week. Peace.